people. It is our money. If you are not being asked how you want those dollars spent, then they are excluding you from the process and they are taking your money. It is our right. We must do this. We must end the corruption on the north side. We must end it. There are women who are living in vacant homes, but millions of dollars come into this city. Why isn't it coming to our communities? And those are the questions that we must ask and we must demand answers.
Don't you think that it's time we pray? That it's time that we say that we all must come together.
And yes, it has been going on for years. So this is an open platform. Anyone who wishes to speak, please come now, raise your hand. And I know there are many folks who have voices, who have wanted to express their voices about the issues that they are dealing with in their communities. And please do so. We're happy to have the African American Black contractors in the house with us. It is very, very support that we have the support of our minority contractors and our minority businesses, because it's time for things to change in St. Louis. So please, Mr. Artis.
I think that it's time that we let right lead the land, that we all join hand in hand. Did you know that that's a power factor we share? The world would be
there was a recent incident that took place over the youth development funding, and what it did was the United Way, they were the ones who were to recommend the projects that would be funded. It went back to the alderman. It should never have gone back to the alderman. It should have gone to the agency that administers that program and administers those funds. And the aldermen are the ones who made the decision of which organizations would be funded. So we would like for Terry Artis to talk about his experience with this. This is what we mean by political corruption.
Yeah, very briefly. My organization submitted a proposal for the RFP, crime prevention. And we found out that the United Way had approved a number of RFPs to go further in the process. The United Way, one of the most respected charitable foundations in the country, had looked over the proposals and submitted recommendations for which are to be funded. And the review panel, the subcommittee of the crime prevention team, or the public safety committee, had a subcommittee to review. Antonio French was one of those people who sat on that subcommittee, and they found it necessary to fly in the face of the United Way's recommendations and take it upon themselves to recommend their own ideas of who should be funded. Now, again, the United Way is one of the most respected proposal reviewing organizations in the country, and yet the alderman felt it necessary to actually go against the United Way's recommendation and give a number of other organizations funding that the United Way suggested that they don't fund. $376,000 the United Way said don't give, the alderman saw fit to give. So a part of the same corruption that Ramona talks about, a part of the corruption that goes on in this city every single day, and will continue until these kind of actions happen to stop it.
Because it's all a part of our political system. It's all a part of our democracy. And if we do not exercise democracy, then democracy democracy will
Yeah.
be taken
I think
away
it's gonna
from
mess
us.
us up.
So we want city council committeeman Carrie Wilson to come and speak about this right here that Alderman French put out in his community today.
How you doing? This letter from Alderman French states that he will not be supporting the current committeeman and committeewoman for election. First of all, Mr. French, you have it backwards. You don't support us, we support you. That's the democratic way.
Right.
Mr. French, in his last community meeting, stated that he was going to try to run his uncle and another person against the current appointed committee people. That in itself, in my opinion, is quite unethical. Politicians should not be that closely associated to people that support them coming from their family. It doesn't allow for a just decision to be made for the community as a whole. He talks about coming together in unity for the community. Well, there are a lot of other things that we know about Alderman French that will soon come to light. One is what's already apparent in the news about his violation in the Ethics Committee. Four or five different times he's been before the Ethics Committee. He has a college degree, but he obviously doesn't know how to count. We need people to run our community that can at least count the money, man, and spread it evenly and justly.
I'm Mikhail Ali, and one of the representatives of the African American Business and Contracts Association. We did the protest at the library just this summer. But we're tired of the corruption, and it is corruption, not just in the 21st Ward, but almost all the wards that are controlled by African Americans are not getting their fair share. All these wards, all our black elected officials, they're making sure that general white contractors are controlling all the work in African American wards. Now that's a crime and a shame. We can't control the economics in the Caucasian community. They don't have African American contractors in the Caucasian community and not sharing it with white subs, only in our community. We got 21st Ward all over, we see the complexion that's rebuilding in our wards are Caucasian.
That's right.
That's wrong.
Yeah, that's
At the
wrong.
hands
Yeah,
of our
that's
black
wrong.
elected officials. We need black elected officials that's got a backbone.
Yeah.
That's not scared to speak up to make sure that their own kind get paid first.
Yeah.
Because if a man can't get paid in his own backyard, he can't consider himself a man. So we need black leadership, male or females, who are strong to make sure that the trickle-down theory first comes with the people that live in that ward.
And that's right. Yeah, man.
That's only morally right.
Yes.
It's only the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's
And
only
if
the right
they're
thing
not
to
going to do the right thing, then we need to call for a recall.
Yes.
Starting here and all of them.
Yes.
Okay, because like the brother said, we don't work for them. They work for us.
They work
The
for
problem is us.
Yeah.
We allowed that to happen.
Yes.
We
Because
allowed
we're-
outsiders. Let me
Yes.
tell you, most of the people that working on that job didn't even live in the community.
That's right.
They didn't even live in St. Louis, Missouri.
Right.
They come from Fenton and Arnold and everywhere else. They don't even buy gas here. They don't even buy their lunch here.
Yeah.
And your men and women sitting on the porch,
Come on.
scratching their head and wondering, when can I eat at a rec center that white folks are cooking? Oh, nobody outside are going to. That rec center's from the neighborhood. We can go in there and play, but we can't build it up. So we got to stand up. We got to demand more.
And then we can't even afford it because the people in the community running.
That's a power thunder we share. This whole world would be a better place, y'all say. Paradise at hand. Zero every walk, child of the man.
And then here's another thing. I'm being told that you have ward meetings and y'all not even invited. For the next ward meeting, y'all need to come in groups and kick the door in.
Yeah.
You got outside and they plotting and planning for your demise. It's
We can't come to the ward meeting. I live right next door to the sanctuary. I never got invited. Nobody, only time I got invited to anything, these people put something on my door and told me to
We
come.
don't even have board meetings
Listen,
anymore.
he getting away with it.
I live right next
Let
door.
him get away with it. It's
never
time
got
for us to
invited
stand
to
up
a meeting.
and come together because you can't beat people power.
That's right. That's right.
It's written in the wind, all the pain and suffering.
I am an activist for the 22nd Ward. I have been in the 22nd Ward ever since '69. When I look at the things that have not been done in the 22nd Ward, when it has not been in the 22nd Ward, when you look at me, you see a status quo. I'm a low income, I'm a senior citizen, I'm an income bracket, so therefore every dollar that they get is one of my dollars. So they're taking my dollar from my electricity and
Now let me go
building
with that white man shit again.
residential houses that are for
Either we
rental.
unqualified or we overqualified.
They
Now,
do
but
not come on the inside.
Let me explain that to you. There was supposed to be so many apprentices appointed on that job. I'm sorry. And let me tell you what the
I
union.
really don't appreciate that my ward has been sapped up. It's like money trafficking. They take the money and they traffic where they want to traffic it. It's really the same thing. If my ward has plenty lots, LA lots in it that has trees in it. Last year, it was so many trees in this lot across the street, LA. It was car hit in there for 2 months. I had a hard time getting them to come and pull the car because the lots were not taken care of. There are lots, there are buildings that are falling down. We can't. I called the chief of building inspector, and he said the house has been condemned since 2007. And there's nothing been done. We can't get nothing done out of Alderman. We call them, they send us around in circles. So I'm tired. I am tired. I'm tired. So we have formed a committee that we will clean up lots. We will get together. And if it takes this, I'm ready. Yes. If it takes this, I'm ready. Yes. We have Alderman Jeff Boyd as our ward alderman. And I have not been able to communicate Mr. Honorable Alderman Boyd, okay? Because he feels like I'm too much of an outgoer, which I am. And I really won't change. I'm our senior citizen, not neglected. Our children, the schools, it's about 12 schools closed in my neighborhood with sale signs on them. And we can't get a school to give back to the neighborhood to promote programs to build up the kids and the families. So yes, I'm tired. I am tired. I'm tired.
See, it's written there in stone that man should be alone. This whole world would be that's our place, you see. Paradise at hand. See, where everyone
My name is Gene Fallon, National Board Member for the Congress of Waste Department. Out of all of my years of being around, I would say to everybody here, without a commitment to be involved in the improvement of your community, we just wasting time.
The commitment is here. We've got the commitment.
Yay!
Well, let's do this.
I ain't seen none of these people in the meeting.
If you're not going to follow through on your commitment, let's don't talk.
Right.
I have been actively involved in this town, and I'm giving my age, ever since 1962.